On a bright morning in the neurology department of a major hospital, a young doctor stared at her patient, her voice betraying a hint of disbelief. "Just to be clear," she said, "you're claiming that everyone you see looks like a pig?" Now, Yichuan remained silent. He didn't offer a defense or a detailed explanation, his steady gaze was answer enough. A flush crept up the doctor's neck. She leaned in, tilting her head with a skeptical squint. "Are you messing with me? Are you saying that I look like a pig to you right now?" Yichuan looked up, his expression as calm as a still lake, and gave a slow, deliberate nod. In his eyes, that delicate, professional face was nothing more than a glittering, pink pig's snout. The doctor froze, flustered. This is a first," she muttered, her embarrassment warring with a sudden spark of clinical curiosity. She glanced at him, noting his striking features. It seemed a tragedy that someone so handsome was plagued by such a bizarre delusion. Driven by a mix of scientific ego and a need to test the limits of his condition, she took a deep breath and slowly unzipped her white medical coat. Under the guise of a physical stimulus assessment, she bared her chest, convinced that her beauty would break his hallucination. "I am objectively attractive," she declared with unwavering confidence. "Even the mentally unstable couldn't possibly see me as a pig." In Yichuan's vision, the alluring view was even worse. He stared at two distinct pig heads where her chest should be. In his mind, a desperate, dark thought echoed, "How the hell am I supposed to feel aroused by two smiling pig heads?" "Still pigs," he confirmed flatly. The doctor gasped, clutching her coat shut and stumbling back. "You psycho," she yelled, her professional composure finally shattering. After a heavy, awkward silence, she turned to a spinal model on her desk, pointing a trembling finger at the vertebrae. "Look at this," she said, shifting back into her diagnostic tone. "Your scans show serious issues. This section is totally abnormal. That is likely why your brain is misprocessing human faces." Yichuan nodded, though he wasn't interested in the why. He wanted a cure. The doctor sighed, her anger replaced by pity. "The only solution is a high-risk surgery to realign the spine and decompress the brain. But the success rate is abysmal. If it fails, you'll be paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of your life." Yichuan took the news as if she were commenting on the afternoon weather. He waited for a beat, then asked calmly, "Doctor, are you done talking? Can I have my spine back now?" The doctor blinked, her eyes filling with confusion as she looked from the plastic model on her desk back to the man. She realized then that he truly believed the model sitting on her desk was a piece of his own body. What a waste, she thought, a pang of genuine sorrow hitting her. So handsome, yet completely broken. The scene shifted to a bustling city street, where the morning air was thick with exhaust and anticipation. On a crowded bus, Yichuan sat with a glazed look in his eyes. The seat next to him remained conspicuously empty. It wasn't because of his appearance but because of the bold, clinical lettering on his folder. Yichuan had lived his entire life in a surrealist nightmare. Since childhood, every human being he encountered appeared as a walking, talking pig. Perhaps it's because his parents were butchers. Honestly, it did really affect his daily life except for dating. Today, however, was different. Today was the day of profession awakening. In this world, youth would discover if they could become warriors, mages, healers, or archers. Yichuan felt a knot of anxiety tighten in his chest. If my mind is this broken, what kind of power could possibly wake up inside me? Scene switched to Qingcheng Academy, where thousands of students were gathering for the ceremony. Yichuan blended into the sea of people. "Yichuan, you're finally here," a cheerful voice rang out. "If you were any later, I swear I'd kill you." Before he could react, a girl rushed to his side and playfully slapped his arm. She was a stunning beauty with radiant skin and a bright smile. When he turned to look at her, he didn't see a girl, he saw a chubby, oddly colored pig person grinning at him. Seeing his panicked expression, the girl's smile faltered into a pout of embarrassment. "Why do you always look at me like that? Like I'm something gross?" Yichuan remained silent. He didn't have the heart to tell her he had no idea what she actually looked like. To him, being hugged by her felt like being smothered by a farm animal. "Look at Lin Huiyan," clinging to Yichuan again, a girl nearby teased. "They're childhood sweethearts," another student chimed in with a laugh. "Who knows? After today's awakening, they'll probably get married and have a dozen kids. The teasing sent a deep crimson flush through Lin Huiyan's face. Stop talking nonsense, she hissed. Yi Chuan, now drenched in a cold sweat, could only watch as a red-faced pig chatted happily beside him. An indescribable sense of dread welled up in his gut. The head instructor stood atop a raised stone dais. His voice, steady and commanding, cut through the nervous whispers like a blade. The awakening ceremony is about to begin. Now is the moment of truth, the time to reveal the results of your years of grueling study and physical discipline. Your inner potential is measured by 3 core pillars: strength, agility, and spiritual power. The higher your stats, the greater your chance of awakening a powerful class. The headmaster urged the students to focus entirely on the ritual, as the profession they awakened would decide their destiny. A high-tier combat class meant defying fate to become a legend, a symbol of glory for themselves and a source of pride for the academy. The hall felt heavy with a mix of hope and anxiety as the ceremony began. At the signal, the first student stepped forward and touched the glowing stone. The result was a shock: support class, intermediate welder. The student stood frozen in disbelief, and even the headmaster sighed at the disappointing start. Then the second student stepped forward. Support class, advanced mason. The third, support class, low-tier engineer. Then, the fourth student stepped forward. He was trembling, but the moment his hand touched the stone, the hall transformed. A brilliant, golden light exploded outward, silencing the room. The result flashed: combat type, shadowless blade dancer, rare class. The silence broke into thunderous cheers. A rare tier, someone shouted. The first shadowless blade dancer. The headmaster's disappointment vanished instantly, replaced by a beaming, triumphant smile. Student, what is your name? The headmaster asked. The boy, once trembling, now stood tall with newfound confidence. Headmaster, my name is Lu Gunlong. The headmaster beamed, ignoring the boy's proud tone. A fine name. Go home and rest. I will personally visit your family later to discuss your future. As Lu Gunlong walked away, he knew his life had changed forever. The crowd erupted, chanting, Brother Long is amazing. With the first rare combat class revealed, the ceremony continued in high spirits. The headmaster called out the next name, Yi Chuan. All eyes turned to him as he walked steadily toward the stone. Below the stage, Lin Huiyan shouted, You can do it, Brother Yi Chuan, her eyes full of hope. The headmaster watched him with a mix of worry and excitement. He knew Yi Chuan was mentally odd, but his stats were legendary. While most students had a total of 3 attribute points, Yi Chuan had 10, more than triple the average. The headmaster prayed for a miracle. Yi Chuan placed his hand on the stone. Suddenly, a blinding light exploded, followed by a violent whirlwind that pushed the crowd back. The headmaster's eyes nearly popped out of his head. That color, purple gold. It's divine tier. Then, the text appeared, support class, divine tier pig butcher. Yi Chuan stared, wide-eyed. The headmaster froze, his excitement turning to ash. A divine class, for butchering pigs, he muttered. Is this a joke? The hall erupted in laughter. A god-tier butcher? That's useless, someone shouted. Is he lucky or cursed? The headmaster's face darkened with regret. Even a healer or a blacksmith would have been better. I could have held my head high. With a heavy sigh, he told Yi Chuan to step down. But as Yi Chuan stood there, a glowing system interface appeared only to him. System activated, Yi Chuan. Rank, level 1 apprentice. Talent, nemesis of pigkin. Deal 50% more damage to all pigs. Gain stats for every pig killed. Skill, butcher's blade. Turn any weapon into a butcher's knife. Every pig killed grants plus 0.1 attribute points. Skill, blood shadow. Paralyze pigs with pure killing intent. Yi Chuan began to tremble, not with sadness, but with a growing, dark smile. He looked back at the mocking crowd. In his eyes, the world wasn't full of people laughing at him. It was a room full of high-level pigs waiting to be harvested. For the first time in his life, his illness felt like a God-given gift.